Fine, good morning to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine and you all are doing well. So I hope by God's grace you all are safe. So pray to God daily for your health, your studies, your food, your parents, each and everything. Okay students? So warm greetings to you all students. Welcome to our today's online class. Okay. So till last week class you have studied about chapter 6, isn't it? So now you are going to study about a new chapter 7. So what's the title of this chapter means Python functions. Okay students, Python functions. So this chapter you are going to study very detailed about functions in Python. Okay students, okay. First we can see, so introduction part of Python function. Okay, so what do you mean by function? So already you have studied the definition of function in the chapter 1. So are you remembering students? So function is a unit of code from the greater code structure. That means, say a program will contain nearly 100. For example, you take a program will contain nearly 100 lines. Okay. So in that program, you are going to write some functions. So that functions will take only nearly 5 or 8 lines. Okay. So from the big code or big 100 lines of code, you are defining the function only for 8 to 10 lines. Okay, so we can say functions are named blocks of code. So you are, for example, in a program, so you are going to add some numbers. Okay, in a program you are going to add some numbers. Okay, so to add some numbers you are defining or you are going to write one function. Okay, so for example I am writing sum of. What's my function name? Void sum of. Okay, so the function I am giving one name called what? Sum of. So inside sum of I am giving some formulas or statements, each and everything. Okay, so in that program some nearly 4 or 5 places I need to use the sum of function. Okay, so one place I need to add 2 numbers, so other place I need to add 4 numbers, some other place I need to add 5 numbers, but sum means the formula is common. So I am defining the function with the name, sum name. Okay, so wherever I need, so wherever in that same program, wherever I need, no need to write the function again and again. Okay, that's the use of function, main use. Okay, only once you can define the function means wherever you need, you can call the function by the function name. Okay students, so once you are defined the function inside the program, then wherever you need, already you have given one name for the function, isn't it? That name you can call inside the program. Okay student, so what's the first point? Functions are the named blocks of code. So you are giving some name for the function, so it's a named block of code. Okay, so each functions are mainly designed to perform particular job. For example, you are writing a function called sum of. So what's the use of sum of function? Sum of function will do the job to sum some numbers. For example, multiply of. What's the use of multiply? So it will product some number. So likewise, each and every function will do some job. Okay, so that one already said the same job. For example, sum of. So in the same program you need to sum the numbers 4 or 5 times. So instead of writing the same lines of code 4 or 5 times, you can call the function name. Just you can call the function name. Okay, so that's the main use of the function. Okay, so because of this function, the program will make very easy to write. Okay, so instead of, for example, that 5 line 5 places in the same program, you need to add some numbers. Okay, in the same program 5 places you need to add some numbers. So in that 5 places you need to define the function. So one place you need to write the function for 10 lines, next place also you need to write the function for 10 lines. That is a very big task. So to avoid that, instead of writing the functions more number of times, you can call the function by the function name. That's a main advantage. So using this function, it will make you to very easy to write the program and also very easy to find the errors also. Understood student, what do you mean by functions? So functions are named blocks of code. You are giving some name. So we can say as a, for example, you are writing the function for 5 lines means we can say it's a 5 lines of blocks of code. 10 lines means you can say 10 lines of blocks of code. Okay. So each and every functions have some job to do. Okay, so each and every function will have some particular task to do. Okay, so instead of writing the function more times, you can write the function one time and just you can call the name of the function wherever you need. Understood? So by using this function, it will make very easier to write, read, and also easier to find the errors. Understood, students? Introduction. Okay. Then, so what's the main advantage of function? What's the main advantage of function? So main advantage, so it avoids repetition. That's the first point. So repetition means already I explained the same concept. So no need to write the same function again and again. Instead of writing the same function again, you can call the function with the function name. That's the main point. So it will avoid. So it avoid for repeating of writing the same function. May high degree of code reusing. So what do you mean by code reusing? So that's the second one, high degree of code reusing. So what do you mean by high degree of code reusing means? So you can able to use the same code again and again. Okay, you can able to use the same code again and again. So that is called what? High degree of code reusing. Okay. So second point, see, it provides better modularity. Okay, what do you mean by modularity? Already you have studied what do you mean by modularity in the last year. What do you mean by modularity? Splitting of big program into a smaller parts is called what? Modularity. So instead of writing all the things in the same program with a continuous, so it is very feeling tough to write, isn't it? So instead of writing that, like you are splitting the same program into a small functions, that is called modularity. So this function will provide better modularity. Okay, students. So what are the two main advantage? So what are the two main advantage, students? First one is it avoids repetition. Second one is it make you to do high degree of code reusing. Then it provides better modularity. Understood, student? Advantage of function. Okay. So next one is the type of function. Okay. So normally there are 4 different types of functions. How many different types of functions are there, students? 4 different types. So in this chapter, you are going to study detailed about these 4 different kinds of functions. So what are the 4 different kinds of function means? Listen, user defined function, built-in function, lambda function and recursion function. Okay, students. So what are the 4 different types of functions? User defined function, built-in function, lambda function and recursion function. Okay. So listen. So what do you mean by user defined function? So user defined function means, listen, so function is defined by the particular user. For example, you are writing a program. Okay. So based on your wish, for example, I said no, same example, you are going to add some numbers. So based on your wish, you are giving the function name as sum of. Okay. So that name is defined by the user or you. Okay. So that is called user defined function. Who is you defining the function or the particular user is defining the function. So that kind of function is called what? User defined function. Okay, students. So next one is built-in function. So what do you mean by built-in? So this kind of functions you will study in very detail in the later of this chapters. Okay. Built-in function means, listen, once you are installing the Python software itself. Okay. Once you are installing the Python software itself, so inside the Python itself, lot of predefined functions are there. Predefined functions means nothing but, so last year you have studied in C++ program, just like a header file. So header file, whether you can able to define the header file by your own? No, it's not possible, isn't it? Already whatever header file is there, based on the functions, what are the functions you are using, you need to define that one, isn't it? Same way, built-in function mean, so Python, if you are using Python language means, so built-in function means, so in the Python, while you are installing the Python itself, they will predefine lot of function. That is called built-in function. Okay. So for example, already you might have studied lot of Python programs, isn't it? So in that programs, you might have studied input of function, print of function, isn't it? So this and all already predefined in the Python program. That is called built-in function. What's the use of input of function? Input of function is mainly used to give some input. So what's the use of printf function? So printf function is mainly used to give or print something. Okay. So this kind of functions already predefined in the program Python itself is called what? Built-in function. Understood, students? So next one is lambda function. Okay, so what do you mean by lambda function? Means, listen, some functions you can define without name. Okay, students, some functions you can define without name. So that kind of function is called what function, students? Lambda function. Understood what do you mean by lambda functions? Functions, other name of lambda function is anonymous function. Okay. So what do you mean by lambda function? Some functions are defined without any name. That is called what? Lambda function. So what's the other name of lambda function is anonymous function. Okay, what's the other name of lambda function, students? Anonymous function. Okay, then next one is a recursion function. Okay, last one is which function? Recursion. So already you have studied recursion function. What do you mean by recursion function? The function will call itself the same function. The function itself call the same function again and again. That is called recursive function. For example, so you have studied on best example, program to check whether the given number is odd or even. So the program will check how many numbers you are entering. Till that the program will check whether the number is odd or even. So that the function will call itself is called what? Recursion function. Understood, students? So what are the four different kinds of function? User defined function, built-in function, lambda function and recursion function. Okay, so what do you mean by user defined function? Okay, so four kinds of function: user defined function, built-in function, lambda function and recursion function. Okay, user defined function means the function is defined by the user, is called user defined. Built-in means, so the already in Python they will give some built-in function. Lambda means function without name. Recursion means that function call itself is called recursion function. Okay, students? Okay, so next one is defining function. Okay, so listen carefully. Defining function. So already you have studied function definition in the chapter 1, isn't it? So defining function means how you need to define the function. Okay, so what's the use of function? So function is mainly used to define for the particular task, to do particular, already I said. So for example, if you are adding some numbers means that function is mainly used to add some numbers. Then subtract of means you can able to subtract some numbers. Okay, then like this built-in function means for printf function is mainly used to print. Input of function is mainly used to give input. So likewise you can able to define lot of own functions. Okay. Listen. So once you are defining your own function, what are steps you need to follow? That means user defined function you take. Okay. If you are defining user defined function, so what are the steps you need to follow? Okay. So in the first chapter you have studied the okay. So when defining your own function, so what the first chapter you have studied, no, same only. Okay. So that's the function definition. Okay, so if you are defining one function, listen, so function always starts with the keyword def. Okay, students, function always starts with the keyword what? Def. Okay, so def is followed by the function name. So already you have studied, no, function definition starts with the keyword let followed by the function name. So here, so the function begins with the keyword what? Def. Okay, then the def is followed by what? Function name. Okay, students, then after the function name you should give parenthesis. Understood? First the function always starts with the keyword def. Okay, listen carefully, function always starts with the keyword def. Then that keyword def is followed by what? Function name, and the function name is followed by what? Parenthesis. Understood, student, the first point? Okay, then after giving the function def, then function name, then parenthesis, so inside the parenthesis you should give some input parameters. Okay, students, so inside the parenthesis you should give what? Some input parameters. Okay, so the input parameters, so for example int a or a comma b or variable, like that variables if you need to give, or a equal to 5, b equal to 10. So parameters or arguments if you need to give means all the parameters or arguments you should give inside what? Parenthesis. Understood, students? So what's the first point? Very very important question. Function block starts with the keyword def, and the def is followed by the function name, and then you should give what? Parenthesis. Okay, then inside the parenthesis you should give what? Some input parameters, for example a comma b, like that. Okay, then if you need to use some values means arguments means also you can give inside the parenthesis. Okay, then after that you should give the symbol colon. Okay, already you have studied, if statement, else statement, same way. So after this you should give which one? Colon. Okay, so what's the first line, students? Once more, function starts with the keyword def, then followed by the function name, and then parenthesis. If you need to give some input parameters, means you can give inside the parenthesis, you can give some input parameters or values. If you need to pass, means you need to pass some values, then ends with colon. Okay, then after that it is indented. That what is very important. Indented means space. Okay, once you are defining a function, so after that, so if you see the next line, means it will leave some space. Automatically the program will leave some space. Okay, space means nearly 4 tab space. So how many lines you are giving inside the program, all the lines will be a same space. That is important. Okay, then at last you should give return statement. Okay, students, at last you should give which statement? Return statement. Okay, so if inside the return, if you are not giving any passing any argument, means it will give the output as none. Okay, students, at last if you are giving return statement, so inside the return, if you are not giving anything, means it will return the answer as what? None. Understood? So see the syntax. This is the syntax. Okay, see, already said function starts with the keyword def, then followed by the function name. If you need to give any input parameters or arguments, means you can give, and separated by commas. Okay, then ends with colon. Then after that you can give some statements. See, statements automatically here it will leave some space. Then at last you should give what? Return. So return, inside that you can give expression. If you are not giving any values or expression, means automatically it will return what value? None. Okay, then what do you mean by block? Okay, block means listen. So here you can see block of statements. After defining the function, so you are giving some set of codes or some set of lines. That is called the block. Okay, so number of lines you are giving inside the function, that is called what? Block of code. Maybe it's a one line or more number of line. Okay, then all these lines is indented. Indented means how many number of lines you are giving here, all the lines will be of same space. That is indented. Okay, for example, first line takes 4 space, means second line also will take 4 space. Then third line also will take 4 space. Okay, student, likewise each and every line will take same number of space. That is called what? Block. Okay, students, then nested block. So nested block means, listen, already you have studied nested. One defined inside another. So nested block means one block is defined with another one block. That is called what? Nested block. Okay, so here consider 2 blocks you are defining. So first block, for example, the line arrangement you will leave single space. Then second, so first block if you are leaving, so one tab space, means second block you need to leave 2 tab space. That is called a nested block. Okay, so one block you should leave first space, 1 space, means second block you can leave 2 space. Okay, so this is called nested. Not even nested block, block defined one inside another is called what? Nested block. Okay, so first block is giving 1 space, means second block you should give more number of space. Okay, students, so here listen carefully. One example they are giving, do something. This is the function name. Simply use a define one function name they are giving. So inside that they are giving one value. Okay, then if you are giving return value, means that value you will get as output. See example, see already you have studied function starts with the keyword def and followed by the function name. So see def and function name they are giving hello of. See then ends with colon. Then inside that, see how many space automatically it will leave, giving the statement print off. Print off, inside they are giving hello Python. Then ends with return statement. So what output you will get, students? Hello Python. Understood, students? Okay, so up to this enough, I think it's so. Today what are things you have studied? What do you mean by function? Types of function, very important. Types of function, user defined function, and the syntax to define function. This and all very important questions. So please study and go through it. This chapter is very important. So likewise last chapter, this chapter also very important. Okay, students, thank you.